I like the lyrics of that song. Life's a pretty good place to be in my mystery. And if you've got the capacity and are willing to dance through life, even when the coals are very, very hot. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're burning hot. So I chose this topic today. Am I sizzling or fizzling? Because that's kind of where I am in my own personal journey. And actually, I'm both. That's why I picked this yin and yang symbol. I'm both. Sometimes I'm sizzling and sometimes I'm not. I'm fizzling. And it's all of it. That's what I know. It is absolutely all of it. And of course, I'd love to be sizzling all the time. You? Yeah. So how do we go about facing the mystery of life and dance with whatever comes up? Even though, you know that old song, Dance with the Dollar with their hole in his stocking? Even though you might have a hole in our stocking or in our heart, how do we dance through our life experience when things are not exactly the way we'd like them? When our feet are just burning under the pressure of life. See, we don't get to choose what shows up. We don't get to choose the moments that show up, but we do get to choose how we respond to them. That we get to choose. And if you notice, it's always the next moment to respond to. Always one more thing to respond to. It's been my experience. So I have to find a way to be at ease with life on life's terms, as it is. And sometimes it is so fabulous, and sometimes not so much. So I just know that my job is to dance with it. You know, the whole universe is in rhythm and in motion, in this spiral of energy that God is, that we are. It's always expressing. Birds, leaves, flowers, rain, wind, whatever it is, it's always expressing, see. My challenge is to go ahead and be part of that, to dance with everything that shows up. Now, I'm going to ask you to give me 65 seconds of your time and sizzle with me, because we're going to experiment now. If you can't stand, that's okay, sit. If you can't do all of the chicken dance, that's okay, do what you can. My own wings are very broken. I need to ask Linda to help me carry my purse sometimes, because I've got that fibromyalgia thing going, my arms don't work too good. So do what you can, go out of your comfort zone, join me in this dance. And my friend the chicken's going to instruct us. So Stacy, get the chicken going. And, all right, everybody, if you can't stand up. imaginary stuff gets in the way and holds us back. So if we can celebrate right where we are in the moment, even if our wings are a little broken and don't work quite right, even if we've got that hole in our heart and don't really want to dance on those hot coals, see if we can actually participate and engage with life on life's terms and let it touch us deeply. Be willing to get off the sidelines, get off the chair, get out of our comfort zone. No matter what, we're going to have a better chance to sizzle through life rather than fizzle and go into that dark, gloomy place. So we got to go with the flow and respond with grace and glide through it or chicken through it or whatever. And meet the moment with all that we are, the best way that we can. Now, sometimes our best is better than others, isn't it? Yeah, that's for sure. So what I know about this thing is when I'm sizzling with life, I know I belong to the universe. I know that I belong to life itself. I know I'm part of it. And then there are times when I feel like a stranger, when I don't belong in this world at all, when I know I'm alive, but I'm just not present. Anybody feel that? I know I'm alive, but I'm just not here. And all the stuff that goes on out there in the human condition, in my own heart, can be painful, can be confusing, can be chaotic. And I ask myself, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? What's this all about? Do I want to be here or not? See, this is where we get into the trouble, where we're heading toward the fizzle. Do I want to be here or not? Do I have a sense of really belonging to this thing called life? Because if I'm heading into the fizzle section, this is when I know I'm getting depressed, when I'm feeling really lost, when I'm sort of in that desert experience, that dry, arid place. That's a big, giant fizzle. So I hope I can share this without falling apart. I'm going to give it a try. So I had an experience this week that rocked my world. See, I've been doing pretty good in trying to recover from all the losses I've had. And this week I opened up my Instagram account expecting to see my great-grandbaby, Walker. And instead I was stunned and shocked to see a picture of my granddaughter being hugged by my daughter at her wedding. Oh, it rocked me. And then my granddaughter wrote a very long comment about her mother and about being a mother. And of course, I went into that fizzle. I went into a fetal position and stayed there. I did the number one thing in Jason Mraz's song, The Three Things, cried my eyes out, dried up my heart, yeah. See, I didn't feel like I was part of the world. I didn't really want to be there that day. Everything switched off. I felt frozen. Gwenda talks about that icy spot where nothing interests you. I didn't want to get up. Felt numb and flat and gray. And this is what I know. If I stay in that place, my capacity to sizzle, to bring my light to life, is dimmed, you see. So my soul's journey is to deal with it, no matter what. To come to terms with what is. To be present, to cry my eyes out, do the fetal position as long as I need to. Told my sister, I don't know when I'm going to get through this. I don't know when I'm done. But I know that in this imperfect, rough world, there is also beauty all around. And there is wonder. And the next time I look at Instagram, it'll be Walker sitting in a bucket of water. On a surfboard. Doing what Walker does. See, I gotta know that I do have the courage to live passionately, to have enthusiasm, to bring that sizzle to life, no matter what, to feel grateful for life itself, to hold nothing back, to meet the moment with who I am. And, like that yin-yang, I gotta go in those dark places sometimes. I gotta do the fetal thing and cry my eyes out and come back the other side. But I have to have the courage to be open, to see things in a new way, to continually reframe whatever is going on in my experience, so I'm not dragging around the hardened crust of my history, my story, me and my story, to reframe the way I see life. Find meaning. That's what we do. We're meaning-making beings, we human beings. To break that box, to break open that box of pain, so that my relationship with life is sizzling, and it is not in that deep, dark, flat, sad, lonely place. Gotta accept that change happens. It's gonna always happen. Something's gonna happen again, I know it. One more thing's going to come, something's going to come next. And I'm going to have to embrace that when it does. Got to be open to being continually surprised, not knowing. Not knowing how things are going to be. Not needing to know what's going to happen and being very present with what is. See? To laugh and cry and twinkle and joke and be spontaneously free and do the chicken dance and go in the fetal position when I need to. Do the old Charles Fillmore thing, I fairly sizzle with zeal. I fairly sizzle with zeal. Look forward to doing the things that are mine to do. See, we're here to live out loud, not to hold our breath. I like that quote. We are here to live out loud, not holding our breath. So, what I know is we're never done, like Brenda said. Doesn't want to be done, doesn't want it to be over. She loves a ride, that's why her picture was up there. She embodies the sizzle. She embodies the sizzle. So here's your invitation. Check in with yourself. Do you really want to be here or not? Simple question. Do you have a sense of belonging to this world, to this universe? Do you have the courage to feel grateful for whatever is going on, no matter what, even on those days in the fetal position? Are you willing to hold nothing back, to meet the moment with all that you are? If it's the weeping, it's the weeping. If it's laughing, it's laughing. If it's dancing, it's dancing. Meet it with all that you are. Let it move through you. Don't let it camp out there. So I'd like to invite you to join me. Repeat after me. I love being alive.
I love being alive.
I love living on this beautiful planet.
I love living on this beautiful planet.
I love sharing life with so many incredible beings.
I love sharing my life with so many incredible beings.
I am willing to dance anyway. And I'm willing to dance anyway.
And I'm willing to dance anyway.
Thanks for listening.